What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Mika Chanel, back with another edition of Mika Chanel is Just Saying. Tonight, before we get into the Real Housewives of Potomac, please subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, okay? Don't forget, click it right now, okay? Click subscribe right now, all right? All right, thank you. Anyways, now, the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 1, Episode number 10, it's a wrap. This is the season finale, you guys. I'm kind of glad they didn't drag this season out too long because they weren't really all that exciting. But I still enjoyed them a lot because, you don't need all that excess, cussing each other out and fighting and all of that. They had some good, healthy drama, but it wasn't like over-the-top drama. I just really hope that when they come back for the second season that it doesn't get worse. Because sometimes you know how these reality shows, like, you know what? I'm going to say that for the end. Right now we are talking about the episode, the season finale of The Real Housewives of Potomac, season number 1. So it opens up with Sharice. Now, this chick is in the bed, y'all. This is the day after her birthday party. She is in the bed. They scan over her nightstand. She got like 5 or 6 bottles of water, empty bottles of water on her nightstand, y'all. She was trying to hydrate herself because she is hung over, okay? Her friend calls her like, are you still in the bed? She was like, yeah, I'm still in the bed. I feel you, though. That's how you're supposed to be after your birthday party. You're supposed to be so hungover and possibly not remember too much of what happened the night before. Just that shows that you had a good time in my book, okay? Maybe not in everybody else's book, but in my book, that shows that I had a good ass time. Anyways, and then in the next scene, Giselle and Robin are taking their daughters. Well, do they all have? No, because Robin has boys. They're taking their children out for horseback riding lessons, and that's cute. Horseback riding is so much fun. I love horseback riding. And my daughter does too, so it's a lot of fun. So anyways, they were just kind of sitting there, and they were just talking about the fact that they live in a place where there's not a lot of black families there or whatever, and they're kind of nervous that their children won't grow up appreciating, black history because they're growing up in a mostly white environment that, and they're not seeing other, too many other black children around or whatever. And that's actually, I think, a real concern for a lot of minorities, because, you want your kids you want to grow up in a diverse area, but at the same time, you don't want it to be so whitewashed where your kids don't really understand, the struggle or whatever. I don't know. My husband, I know, definitely. I grew up, around a lot of white people, and, my elementary school, there wasn't too many black people. But, at the same time, I feel like I still get that, that history because, I grew up in of course, my whole family's black and my step family's black and, so it wasn't as bad. But my husband really had an issue when I wanted to move out to the suburbs because he, growing up on the south side of Chicago, he always looked at living in the suburbs as, they gonna be, them Oreos or, Oreo kids or whatever. And I'm just like, you know what? It's not like that. And, like nowadays, like especially where we live in the south suburbs, it's not, it's a little bit more diverse out here or whatever. And actually my daughter is around a lot of black kids, but I get both sides. You want to be in a better neighborhood, but sometimes a better neighborhood tends to be a little more white, and it's kind of sad that it's like that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So they were just kind of talking about that and how they worry that their kids aren't going to really understand the struggle. And then the fact that they are growing up, pretty, with a lot of rich kids and they have a lot of privileges themselves. I think outside of the whole race thing, I think that to me, that may be more of a struggle than just not being around a bunch of black kids because though I grew up in a more white area, people weren't rich where I grew up. You know, I mean, I grew up with a few rich kids, but in my, you know, neighborhood, it wasn't, you know, a lot of people that had a lot of money. So everybody was struggling where I grew up at. You know, it didn't matter what color you were. It just mattered that everybody was broke, okay? So I think to me, that is more of an issue of your kids maybe not appreciating things and maybe feeling a little bit too privileged, more so than growing up around a lot of white kids. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, let's get off that. So, yeah, so that's kind of what their struggle is right now with their children. And for some reason, these two are really obsessed with race. And I don't understand it. I really do not understand why Giselle and Robin are so obsessed with race. Like, they talk about it a whole lot. And, you know, in the last episode, you know, they got into it with Katie and Ashley about race. And I mean, I really don't understand why they're so freaking obsessed with it. They need to be more figuring out why the hell they act so damn bougie, especially Giselle bougie ass. She needs to be figuring out why she's so damn bougie, you know, more so than figuring out who the hell is biracial and what's a white thing and what's not a white thing. You know what I mean? That's just my 2 cents on that. Anyway, so Raven, and the next scene, Raven, Karen's daughter, she is packing for college, and Karen's in there, you know, helping her pack, and Karen is like, so are you gonna come home? You're not planning to come home in a month? And Raven's like, well, maybe 2 months. And Karen's like, that's not gonna work. 2 months is not gonna work. You're about to turn 18. I wanna be there for your 18th birthday. You need to be home and all this and all that. And Karen is just, you know, worried that that her daughter's gonna go off and forget her or whatever. I'm just like, Karen, girl, let that girl go. She was looking like, what did Karen said, maybe I'll come and visit you or something. She looked at her like, yeah, you can try if you want to. Oh my goodness, I find it hilarious, but you know, like I was saying before, I might be that same way with my daughter. You know, you're happy to see him go, but at the same time, you're sad to see him go. My mom and I, you know, like my mom hugged me when she dropped me away at college, and like I didn't think she was gonna let me go. You know, but me and her butt heads so much as a teenager, I would thought she'd have been so excited for me to leave and be away from her, you know, but I guess it's your baby, and so I can understand it. Anyways, in the next scene, Katie and Andrew are headed to Katie's farm. Now, Katie said she bought this farm when she was a model because, you know, she was living in New York and it was just so many people around. So she wanted to have, you know, like a little country house, and it's not little, but so she bought the farm. And so while they are on the way there, you know, they discussed Giselle and Robin at the party the night before and how they were acting like stick in the muds. She was like, everybody was dancing and having a good time except for them, and she didn't understand, like, why can't they just have a couple of drinks and just relax and chill out, you know? And Andrew was just like, what did he call them, bug-eyed and talks a lot or something like that. He called them, whatever he called them, it was hilarious, okay? And then as they're talking about them, Giselle calls Katie. And she calls Katie to invite Katie to her come to Jesus lunch that she had. That's what her and Robin were also talking about in the other scene. So, you know, Giselle tells Katie she wants her to come to this lunch. It's going to be a lunch for everybody to kind of air out all of their grievances and just kind of talk out whatever issues they have with each other so that they can all move on. Katie's not so sure that she wants to go. But, you know, she tells Giselle, I'll try to make it or whatever. So it is what it is. And then Katie gets a little upset because Andrew says that he's going to Scotland for a week. And he just says it like all out the blue. Like it's just so nonchalant. Like he finna go to damn, you know, Miami for the week. He talking about I'm finna go to Scotland. Like Scotland? Damn, when was you gonna tell me? You know, like damn, I mean, isn't that like a trip that you planned for a while? But, you know, I don't know. Maybe they live in a different universe than I do. But I would have been like, why am I just not hearing about you going to Scotland for a damn week, you know? But anyways, she's not invited and she's not really that happy about it. He's like, you know, you got to stay here and take care of the kids, you know? She's not all that happy about it, but anyways, in the next scene we see Ashley. She's hanging out on her balcony with the dogs and you know, she's just, you know, relaxing or whatever. And then her husband Michael comes home, and as Michael's walking up the stairs, because their balcony is like up the stairs or whatever, She, I guess it's kind of like a rooftop patio. She's like, no, you can't come up here yet. Just wait a minute. I got to make sure I look my best. So she pulls out her phone, and I guess she pulls up the camera or whatever. So she's trying to fix herself up or whatever. He's standing there on the stairs like, can I come up now? Can I come up now? I got a lot of stuff in my hands, you know. He's got her a little rolls, and he's got a bag of food, and she finally lets him come up. I'm just like, Ashley, is it that serious? I mean, if you're cute enough to be in front of the cameras, you cute enough for your husband to see you. I'm sure he done seen you looking way worse, okay? And it wasn't even like she was looking bad at all, but I found that to be hilarious, you know. So I think we all go through that sometimes, you know. We want to make sure we look good for our men, but I don't know if I would have went as far as to tell him he couldn't come up the stairs until I fixed myself up, even though I was just already lounging outside in front of the whole bunch of cameras, you know. Anyway, so he has little rolls for her. He has some sushi, and they have like a little lunch, and she was saying how, you know, she really likes the fact that he's so busy, but yet he always takes time out to make sure that she feels special and all of this. And I just thought that was really, really sweet, you know. And then she brings up the fact that she's ready to have a baby, and she's like, you know, when are we gonna have our baby? I'm ready. My biological clock is ticking. You know, it's time. I think she said she's like 28. That's how old I was when I had my baby. My biological clock wasn't ticking. It was just, you know, a oops moment. But, you know, she's just like, you know, she's ready to have the baby. And so he tells her, you know, let's wait till the restaurant is open. And then once the restaurant starts breaking even, then we can talk about it. That leads me to believe that Michael is not really all that into having kids. I mean, all of his kids right now are grown. He's probably trying to live out his life. You know, he married a younger woman because he wanted somebody to take care of him in his old age, but he wasn't necessarily wanting to have another family, you know. But she's, you know, really wanting to have another family. So they make an agreement that once the restaurant breaks even, then he won't have to pull out anymore. Anyways, that was a cute scene. But in the next scene, we see Katie and Andrew. They finally get to the farm, and her farmhouse is gorgeous. I mean, it's huge. The grounds are nice. She's got her groundskeeper out there. He had, you know, cleaned up the place, cut the grass and trimmed the bushes and stuff. And, you know, so they go ahead and they take a walk to what she calls her vortex. And it's just a place that she likes. She likes to be peaceful. You know, there's the cows over there and, you know, everything. And I can dig it, okay? Because I love that kind of stuff. I mean, like I said, I grew up in a small town here in northern Illinois. And I can dig the just wanting to be alone and away from people and have a farm. I would love to have a farm, like love to have horses and all of that. But so they get to where her little vortex place is, and you know, there's like rose bushes planted out there, and she's like, where did this come from? And it's kind of planted kind of in like a little semicircle. And then all of a sudden Andrew drops to both knees because he can't get on one knee because his pants are too tight. So he drops to both knees and he finally apologizes. I don't even know where that came from. He finally proposes to Ashley, and she's so excited. She's crying, and, you know, he gives her the ring, and he's like, you know, you're the one for me, and all of this and all of that, and, you know, and she's excited, and so yeah, so they're engaged. Katie is finally engaged to Andrew, and she's so happy. And he was just like, first she was like, so how long is it gonna be before we get married? And he's like, well, maybe we can have like a 8-year engagement or whatever. So that led me to believe like, maybe he's just doing this to shut her up and keep her around so she won't leave or whatever. You know, I don't know, but we shall see what happens. Anyways, in the next scene is Giselle's, we're at Giselle's house. Her and her daughters are in the kitchen cooking. It's really cute to see her with her kids. Sometimes I think she may tell them a little bit too much about grown-up stuff, but, you know, she says she enjoys hanging out with her kids because, you know, it's only going to be a short time that they're going to want to actually be around her and need her and want her advice and things like that. And so she likes to, you know, spend time with them. They're like baking bread and baking some cookies or something, I don't know, for her dad, because her dad is coming over. because her dad is getting honored in Washington, D.C. by Congress for being a civil rights activist back in the day. I guess he did a lot of work with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I guess, remember that guy that she was dating, that Herman guy that she, you could tell she wasn't all that into, but she brought him to Robin's yacht party or whatever. So I guess he was able to pull some strings and give her dad, this honor. So, she's excited about that. Her dad is excited when he gets there. The girls are happy to see him. And he tells this well, I guess it's not a funny story, but he tells a story about when him and Dr. King they were doing some kind of charity event and they had to sell tickets. And he was like, told them, I don't think we sold enough tickets. And he was like, Dr. King was like, I don't know. I think he was like, let's pray on it. So Dr. King started praying. And all of a sudden, I guess the Lord told him that he needs to give the tickets away for free. And he's like, this is a charity event. Then all of a sudden, the man pulls up in a limo, says he wants to buy tickets and gives them like $25,000 for the tickets. But he doesn't actually want the tickets. So they end up still being able to give away tickets. So he was saying, that's when he knew that, what they were doing was worthwhile and his life was really meaning something. So I thought that was kind of a cool story or whatever. And then like a little later we see Giselle, like I guess the Bravo cameras weren't there. I guess it was like Giselle had her own like personal camera and she taped them going to Washington, D.C. so that her dad can get honored. And that's kind of cool. And she was saying she can appreciate what she has now because people like her father fought for her to be able to go to any schools that she wants to live in any neighborhood that she wants to, and all this and all that. And it's kind of cool. So yeah, that's something to definitely be proud of. Anyways, what's going on? Last scene of the episode is time for Giselle's Come to Jesus lunch. Okay, now I don't know why she called it Come to Jesus lunch, but if that's what she wants to call it, that's what we gonna call it. She says basically that they just need to talk about it, talk it out, talk out all of their differences. Her and Robin get there together. Then Karen comes, and then Sharice gets there. Sharice was looking kind of cute. She gets there, and then Ashley comes, and then finally Katie gets there. Katie's like really, really late because they had already ordered food and everything by the time Katie got there. So before Katie actually got there, though, Giselle was like explaining to them that whomever has the reserve sign that she had is the one that can talk and nobody else can talk. I guess this is her way of keeping it under control. And Karen's like, Giselle, that is not going to, in her interview, she was like, that is not going to work. You can say that all you want to. Basically saying, if she got something to say, she going to say it. That's what I took from that, And that's basically what she did. She took the reserve sign from Giselle and just went right in on Ashley. And she's just like, Ashley, I feel, what did she tell Ashley? She was just telling Ashley, like, she was like, Ashley, until you become a woman with your own kids, a real woman, then don't ever put my daughter's name in your mouth. And, she was saying this stuff. And I'm just like, what is wrong with Karen? Karen, you need to calm the fuck down a little bit, okay? You're overreacting a lot, okay? Not even a little. You are overreacting a lot. You act as if Ashley was just running around, spreading rumors about your daughter or talking badly about your daughter, The only thing she said was that she wanted to, get to know your daughter, and then she made the slip up of saying that, you didn't want them around your daughter when it was actually only Ashley that you said you didn't want around your daughter. But, even Ashley admitted in her interview, oh, maybe I was wrong in saying she said all of us, or whatever. But I just didn't understand. Karen's just really overreacting, like way overreacting, But Ashley's just like, you know what? I'm not upset. It is what it is. Ashley just told her, like, you're angry about something. I don't know what it is you're unhappy with, but I don't feel it has anything to do with me. I feel like you're projecting your feelings onto me because you're insecure about whatever it is. And Sharice kind of shuts it down. And Sharice is just like, look, this argument doesn't make any sense. Let's just move on. So they decide to go ahead and move on. But before they move on, Ashley did say something about, Karen acts like her and her husband are like, I guess she was basically saying not good enough or something, like acting like they're up to something all the time. And she was saying like, you must have thought my husband wanted you when he came to the beach house and all this and all that. And I don't know, it was just a real, like Sharice was saying, it was just a real silly and juvenile argument. And Karen, I don't know if it's because she thought that Ashley was just going to fall at her feet and just, be her little puppet or something like that. And then when that didn't happen, maybe maybe Karen got upset. I don't know. It was something really weird going on there, on Karen's end, But anyway, so then Ashley finally Katie finally gets there, and Giselle catches her up about the reserve sign. So she's like, well, I want to take the reserve sign right now and tell everybody that I am engaged. And she flashes her ring, and everybody's like, oh, they're so happy for her and this and that. But it didn't last long because Robin took the reserve sign and was like, I need to talk about something. And she tells Katie that, I feel like you need a Black history lesson. And it's just kind of, everybody's looking like, really? Like, what the hell is that about, And Robin says that she feels like Katie, is not, she was offended that Katie would call them biracial or whatever. And Katie just basically says that, she didn't appreciate she doesn't appreciate them always bringing up race, and she feels disrespected. And she was saying that she knows that they're not biracial. She was just throwing that up to point out the hypocrisy of both her and Giselle, and and why they're acting like that. And then Robin goes in to say, well, I just wanted to know if it was a white thing that Michael was feeling on Andrew's butt and this and that, and you date white men, you used to be married to a white man, so that's why I'm asking you. Katie's like, well, why don't you go find a white man and ask him about it? You know what I mean? And then Giselle jumps in, and Giselle's like, well, I wasn't trying to bring it up as a gay or not gay thing. Well, I was saying it was disrespectful to Ashley that he would do that. And Ashley's like, I'm not even concerned about it. So why are you concerned? Why is it so much of a concern of yours, And Katie's just like, I don't understand why you guys are always bringing up race. She was like, I never denied being a Black woman. She's like, I am a Black woman, but I'm also a Caucasian woman. I am biracial. Like, why can't you get that through your head that I'm biracial? And Giselle's like, you act like it's a problem to be Black. And Katie's like, I never said that. And so then she was like, oh, so Giselle tried to say that Katie said that she wasn't a Black woman. And I was just like, I don't remember Katie saying that throughout this whole season. I don't know, maybe they had some side conversations where Katie said that. And even in the flashback that they did where she asked Katie, are you Black or white tonight? And Katie's like, I don't know what I am. Like, I don't think that was her denying that she's not denying being Black. Of course she knows she's a Black woman. She looks like a Black woman. Her mom's a Black woman. But she's also half white. I mean, like, I don't understand why, like, biracial people have to deny. Like, it's not that they have to deny. Like, why do they? I had this conversation with my husband because I feel like people want biracial women, especially the Black-white mix. They want them to say, I am a Black woman. Like, they know that they're Black women, or Black men or whomever, they are, man or woman, if they're Black and white. They know that they are Black, but at the same time, they also have a white side to them. And clearly the white side, was very prominent. It wasn't like she was just raised by her Black mom and only like her Black family, and that's all she has to relate to. I mean, the damn girl's Jewish. Come on now. I don't know. I just hate that. I'm glad I'm not biracial because I would just hate to be in that position to always have to defend who I am, But I think Katie handles it well. She doesn't really take their shit. She really doesn't, especially from Giselle. She just does not take mess from any of them, and I'm happy that she stands up for herself, and she tells them how it is. Like, this is not, you guys are just being a little ridiculous at this moment or whatever. And then Sharice just says that Sharice cuts in and Sharice is like, well, I do feel like you guys, you, Robin, and you, Giselle, bring up race a lot and it can be disrespectful. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Finally, somebody is speaking up, because I feel the same way. It is so disrespectful. Like, why are they always picking on Katie and Ashley for being biracial? And I don't know if they're necessarily picking on them for being biracial, but it's always like, they're always bringing up the white thing. Is this white thing? Is that a white thing? Is that a white thing? Like when Ashley was humping on Katie or whatever. Is that a white thing? Is that a white thing? Like, it's because she's young and that's how she likes to have fun. Like, why does it have to be, always come down to race? It's so freaking annoying to me. I mean, and people in my everyday life do that too, and it's really annoying to me, and I really don't understand. So at the end of the day, Karen jumps back in and she's just like, I think that it is disrespectful, and what it is that people need to respect other people's boundaries. And she went to Ashley and she's like, you need to respect my boundaries and I may need to respect your boundaries. I can't, just like you don't want me forcing my way of life on you, you can't force your way of life on me, and so I guess that was their little agreeing to disagree moment. Katie apologizes to Giselle for what, I don't know. But, it kind of is what it is. And then the only thing I could think of was that damn Escape song. What I need from you is understanding. How can we communicate if you don't hear what I say? Y'all remember that song? That's all I was thinking about when Karen was talking about. It's all just, disrespectful and misunderstanding. We need to respect each other and all this and all that. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Y'all, these ladies are crazy, okay? This argument was so silly and stupid. It really, really was. But that's how it went off. And, they did the little blurbs about what everybody's up to. Ashley's restaurant is open, but they still haven't broken even yet. So, they're not in the process of making any babies. Robin and Juan are still doing whatever the hell they're doing. Craziness is going on with them. I can't remember what it said about Giselle. Oh, they talked about her makeup line. I can't remember what it was called. It's called something, but I can't remember what it's called right now. Sharice is, still not divorced, but she's learning how to swim. She can doggy paddle, it said. Robin, they were like, Karen done, she waited a month and went down and visited her daughter, and they talk on the phone like 4 times a day. And then poor Ashley, her and Andrews have been back and forth. They broke up and got back together, broke up and got back together. Probably because Ashley's trying to force him to now have a wedding. She was forcing the engagement, now she's forcing the wedding. She might need to just let that shit go. I don't know. But anyways, so that's kind of how it went off, you guys. What do you guys think about the season of The Real Housewives of Potomac? I'm kind of looking forward to their reunion. But like I was saying at the beginning of my blog, I'm happy that they didn't really, it wasn't a lot of fighting, and it wasn't like a lot of, just real down and dirty, arguments and things like that. And I don't think that anything happened that these ladies can't come back from. And, like I was saying before, I hope that when they come back for season 2, I just really, really hope that they kind of keep it the same, and not, because, some of these reality shows, after they've been around for a few seasons, it's like the women get more nasty with each other and they try to one-up each other. They're trying to see who's going to be the most popular and things like that. So, I hope that doesn't happen to them. I see it in the future just because, I've been watching reality TV for a very long time and that seems to be the way it goes, but I'm hoping not. I really hope not. I would really like to see a group of black women just not tear each other apart all the time, So, anyways, I will be watching the reunion and most likely I'm going to blog about the reunion. I don't know if I'm going to do both reunion shows or if I'll just wait until they both air and then give my review on it. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do as far as that, but that's a wrap for The Real Housewives of Potomac season 1, okay? Until the reunion time, you guys, that is it. So until next time, please stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Mika Chanel is Just Saying. Oh, and in honor of Ashley, we're going to do a shot of whiskey and toast it up to the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 1, you guys. Yeah, I'm not going to do the whole shot. Bye-bye.